Hi, everyone. It's John Galante, president of AE Ventures, here with another in our series of Builder Innovator webcasts. I'm thrilled to be joined today by Derek Richardson, who is the founder and CEO of Deako, and Nathan Diehl, who's the head of product for the same company. Gentlemen, welcome. We're a couple of weeks in the rearview mirror of IBS. I know you had a lot of news that you broke there and activity, joint presentations with industry heavy hitters like Adam Dunham with D.R. Horton and Joe Strada, who's with the nation's largest electrical contractor, Strada Electric. Strada is a good Italian name. I should know that one. And that some of your technology partners like Qualsys, Copperwell, BI Metallics, integrator partner, Safe Haven. You'd had some joint activities with those folks as well. But we're going to dig into the news from IBS. But Derek, since we've got you for the first time ever as the CEO and founder of Deako, maybe you can start by giving us a little bit of a background around the company.
Yeah, well, Deako is a company, we've been around 9 years now. I originally had the idea, gosh, it was probably about 12 years ago. And it was kind of born out of my wife and I bought a new home. And before we moved into that home, we wanted to paint all the walls white and put in some dimmer switches and kind of messing around with some smart home technology. And I found myself spending my weekends over the first, 5 or 6 weekends rewiring light switches. Shocked myself a couple of times, just, trying to do it myself. And I thought, there kind of has to be a better way. For over 120 years, we've had a screw-in light bulb socket that the average person like me could change a light bulb in seconds safely. Why didn't somebody go and do that for a light switch? So we invented the modular light switch that works something like this. Without turning off the power, you can literally unplug a switch safely. There's no way to kind of shock yourself or anything like that. You're not calling an electrician. And if I just wanted to put in a dimmer switch, I can plug it in myself in, just a few seconds here. And now all of a sudden I've changed that switch. So what took me over 24, 25 hours of my weekend time away from my family, I could have done in 20 minutes, and that's kind of what we're doing at Deako is we're trying to bring what we like to call in our own mission statement, effortless change to people. Yeah. You want to change your home. You want to update it. You want to modernize it. You want to put in technology maybe. How do we do that so it's just purely effortless and simple?
In the built environment, it's not about a DIY experience like you just described for us. It's about easing the pain of the electrical contractor at the job site and easing the pain on the expense of the electrical contractor because the labor is less required to do this sort of work, right?
Well, the beauty is that, the first product that I showed here was what we would call a simple rocker switch. Like it's functionally equivalent to the normal switch that an electrician is buying and installing in a new construction home. And so our prices are quite comparable with that, even though it's a screwless cover plate switch. And we just made it really simple. They buy it through the exact same channels. It gets installed exactly like a normal light switch would. But the power comes then, it empowers other partners, whether it's a smart home integrator or an individual homeowner, that they can customize it themselves without like hours of labor.
So let's jump back to IBS, to Las Vegas for a minute. What kind of trends did you guys see there or participate in?
The International Builder Show is such a great show for us. It's there. We've been there probably like 7 years in a row or something now. We've met with probably about 1,000 different builders or people in the trades that get to hear the message about Deako. I'd say one of the things that I observe over the last even 3 or 4 years is it went from people going, I'm not sure if I need smart home technology into my home, to I have to have it, or I've tried something and it's not working well. I hear a lot about what you guys are doing and that it's simple and it's easy and it's affordable. Like, tell me more about this. I've seen this at, in a DR Horton home or a Meritage home or a Toll Brothers home or something like that. Tell me more about this, because I've not heard a pitch on why people use this. And so it's really encouraging to see people proactively coming to talk to us now,
Yeah.
which is fantastic.
Yeah, I'd love to sum it up a little bit. It's like, to me, there's really four strong points that came out of it. There's the value of partnerships in the industry. The smart home has really moved, and Derek kind of talked about this, from a nice to have to an expectation. We've really see a tectonic shift in the home buyer's expectation of what's inside the house whenever they buy a house, what modern technology really means.
Yeah.
The importance of driving value for builders and home buyers. Now more than ever before, that driving a cost-effective solution for the whole stack really is critical. And then finally, the necessity of utilizing disruptive technologies to achieve that. We're not where we were before, and the industry has changed dramatically in the last 5 to 10 years. And we have to be pursuing new strategies to be able to keep up with what we were able to do 10 years ago.
So disruptive technology, very common in Silicon Valley parlance, or even up in Seattle where you guys are. Something that investment analyst companies look at in the technology sector. Not a lot of analysis of disruption as a factor on the home building side of things. And in fact, in many ways, the industry has resisted disruption and rapid rate innovation. So how do we create the right marriage between what the technology industry is great at in terms of being able to iterate with innovations and the builder's slower ticking innovation time clock? So it ain't easy to turn that ship. But what do you think some of the keys are for us to get innovation done, whether we want to call it disruptive or not, with home builders?
Yeah, I would say it's interesting when you think about disruptive. It's one of our key tenets, like I said, is our mission is around effortless change. Like, we know building a home, it's a complicated endeavor with lots of different trades, lots of different suppliers. You've got distribution networks. Like, you can't ask people to change. That's why we sell our products through the exact same channels. They get installed by your exact same electrician. It gets installed the exact same way. When you're disrupting an industry, you don't want to have to change the behavior of all the players in the industry, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of liken it to, and I have no idea when it came across, but sliced bread came around, right? There was at one point, there was no sliced bread, right? And then all of a sudden somebody built a machine that could slice bread, and now everyone is buying sliced bread. Mm-hmm. It's nonsensical to not buy sliced bread other than in boutique-y situations, right? And I think that's the type of change where it's like, well, we were already buying bread. Now this is just easier and more convenient, and it's the same thing, basically, right? And that's kind of what I feel we've done. Is it's a light switch. Like, it's not revolutionary. Yeah. We're solving the install time and the ability to change. Yeah. And it's just like an extra benefit that you get when you need it, at not a significant cost. And that's kind of the key too.
Cool. Well, why don't we talk about some of your disruption and innovation in terms of the new product that you introduced at IBS? Is this the universal backplate?
First, just like, what's changed? Like, what's the same and what's different between our two backplates? I'll hold them up here and see if you can tell the difference first off. So on my left here, I have the new universal backplate, and on my right, I have our old backplate. You can see what the thing is that the same is it has the same connector, the exact same form factor. From the homeowner's perspective, there's no difference in this product than the existing product out there. And what that means first and foremost is that all of our existing modules, all of our existing switches will work in this new universal backplate, and all the switches that we're going to build into the future are going to keep working in this backplate. So that's the first thing that everybody needs to understand is we're not disrupting that aspect of our product. What we are doing though on the back here is you'll see that the way that you terminate wires, the way that you connect this, the wired into the home has changed. This is our original backplate. This we call the quick wire backplate. We're going to still manufacture this. We're going to still keep making this product. This is great for high volume production builders who are using standard Romex wiring. It's a very quick to install, reliable product. This, our new universal backplate, this has a different type of termination on it. This has a screw terminal, a little compression happens on the wire to be able to hold it in place. And what this allows, and the word universal really comes in, is how many different types of wiring can be plugged into this, whether it's standard Romex wiring, this new innovation, copper-clad wiring that's really hitting the market with some force. It all works into this. I mentioned that company Copperclad. They make that bimetallic wire. It's a aluminum core with copper on the outside. And that bonding is really unique to what they do, and it's their invention and innovation in the market that allows them to be so popular in scale. They're solving some really critical problems out there. The cost and reliability of copper has been fluctuating all over the map. Copper itself has become an implicit critical material for the electrical vehicle industry. So it's been difficult for home builders and other sectors to be able to get that product. So by putting aluminum into the mix, they had to modify the dimension of the wire to make it handle the same load safely as copper does. But they've reduced the fluctuations in price and cost. That smooths things out on the supply chain side too for builders. And a kind of a bonus knock-on effect is it's really reduced the job site theft, which is a massive inconvenience and pain in the butt for electricians and builders alike. Mm-hmm. So this product was born out of that need. We saw that trend, we saw that disruption happening, and this is our answer to how does Deako come to market, and we really believe we're first to market with what's labeled and tested by UL as a copper-clad native compatible solution. So we're proud of that fact.
Tell me a little bit more about the development process, just kind of the blocking and tackling of it, because we say these things at a high level. We developed it in partnership. What does that partnership look like?
Yeah, I mean, it started because, we're working with, over 1,000 electricians nationwide now, doing about, a little over 10,000 homes a month.
Yeah.
And so we're interacting with these electricians, we're interacting with these builders, all the time. And frankly, Joe Strada personally, that was on the panel at the IBS show, introduced us to the president of Copperweld that builds this copper-clad aluminum product, and was like, this is the future of the home building industry. This copper-clad aluminum is going to eventually take over from standard Romex everywhere. It might take a decade, but it's happening. Yeah. And I see Deako is going to be taking over as well, it just makes sense to have a connector for the light bulb, a connector for the light switch, a connector for the circuit breaker. It's an obvious thing. You guys need to work together. So that kind of started that conversation a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And then we worked with Copperweld, understanding their roadmap. We built prototypes of the product. We put it in the hands of the electricians, in Joe's team. They tested it, installed it in homes. Then we put it in, dozens of other electricians and had them build it up, took their feedback. It's 4 or 5 iterations of the actual design and hardware to make it easy to install and fast with the clear labeling and, go through all the safety certification testing and everything. It takes a couple of years.
To me, one of the most engaging parts of this is we can get that alignment that I don't want to say it's the easy part, but whenever you bring a couple visionaries into a room together and you find that concentric spot on the map of the future, and we're like, oh yeah, we're all going to be there. Clearly, we need to be able to collaborate to be able to get there together. That's kind of the exciting and fun part. I'll call that the easy part. The hard part is getting a product into the field and putting it in the hands of the real people who have to use it. if you watch an electrician install a light switch, they're using the tool that lets them do it fastest. They're picking up an impact driver and just pounding on the product to go for speed. And if you didn't take the time to get out there, videotape these guys, look at the tools they're using, make sure that the screwdriver that they're using, the bit fits the product you're building, and make sure your product doesn't blow up whenever they're using a power tool on it, you're going to fail. Ability to rapidly execute on a strategic vision alignment and go the whole way down into the field with hands-on real people feedback. Our engineers, our product managers went into the field and met with these guys with our prototypes. That's what really gives us the confidence that we're going to bring a successful product to market that's going to really execute on that vision.
What is the availability situation for electrical contractors and builders?
There's no question I get asked more in this world of when can I have it, and the answer is now. It's in distribution now, so you can find this from your common electrical distributors. If you need help finding a distributor who's carrying Deako, you can reach out to the Deako sales team to help navigate that.
And there's not just product in stock, I'm assuming. You guys have training and other supports for the folks that want to go fast with this?
The reality is it's not more complicated than a normal light switch. So any, certified trained electrician can kind of pick this thing up and get going. But we do have a dedicated team that works very closely with our electricians if they have any kind of questions. Any kind of concerns. It is something that's relatively new. We have been shipping now for almost 6 years with this product, and previous versions of it. So we've a lot of people have already heard about it that have to, install it, work with it. But, we're definitely there to kind of help people.
Well, let's talk about the rest of the lineup while we're here together.
We talk about the backplate as that's that piece that gets installed. You still have the blue junction box in the wall. You still have the standard wiring. Like, the home is not modified in any way. It's just in place of the switch. That's where the backplate gets installed first. Yeah. And then we have these different plug-in modules. We've got 10 different products that plug in, whether they're simple on-off rocker switches. We've got switches that have got a built-in night light, a motion sensor, a fan speed controller. So, you don't have to get up and pull the chain to turn the paddle fan to high, medium, low speed. Yeah. There's timers for exhaust fans. There are smart light switches too. All those ones that I just mentioned, they're actually just like, your classic old school switch that's got, like a motion sensor tied to it.
Right.
But we actually have a whole home smart lighting system that can be plugged in where, there's no hub, there is no brain. All the intelligence lives inside the actual product. Like, this is a smart dimmer switch. Yep. And it's got Wi-Fi mesh and Bluetooth mesh built into it. And just by simply plugging these things in, pressing and holding for 6 seconds and pairing it to your phone, somebody can build a whole home smart lighting system in under, say, an hour, kind of a thing. Yeah. Everything set up and do it themselves.
And I think you guys are delivering one of those with D.R. Horton's standard smart home security package. You've got a switch, and it's a building block to a bigger play. Whether that's aftermarket or pre-market, that's going well for you all in terms of having that foothold.
Yeah, I mean, D.R. Horton, who's obviously the largest builder that everybody kind of knows of in the nation, they started putting Deako in their homes 4 years ago. They started with one smart switch. Recently, in the last year or so, they've now moved to putting 5 smart switches in. And, there's some pretty incredible data early on showing that they're actually selling homes much faster by putting more switches in the homes and being able to articulate the value of smart home and smart lighting.
Yeah.
And so, we've got builders that are putting 25 or 30 smart switches standard in the home. It's really kind of across the gamut.
Yeah.
We find if you're building a $300,000 home, maybe you're putting 2, 3, or 4 in, and then allow the homeowner to add later to build their system. But if you're going to build a $600,000 home, you're probably putting in 20.
Yeah, to me, that's one of the most big, the tectonic shifts in the industry that's happened over the last decade. For forever and a half in the luxury home market, the expectation of smart lighting control was there, but it
Yep.
stayed there out of reach. It was cost prohibitive for the average home buyer to ever even consider it as an option.
Yep.
Think in the magnitude of $30,000 to $40,000 to be able to automate your lighting at a minimum in your house, probably on the 60 to 100K mark, and that that was just unattainable for the average home buyer. And in the last 10 years, we went from, hey, I don't need anything in my house, why are you even talking to me? We kind of named our main competitor as the choice, as choosing to do nothing, as like the main competitor we had a decade ago. And to somebody like, all right, I'll put one in, I want to show off a little bit that I'm relevant as a builder, to now what we saw right there with DR Horton moving up to 5, and so many other builders, just like that's the new bar that's set. The expectation by home buyers is that you not just putting a little bit of window dressing on for smart home technology, but you're actually investing in it. To me, one of the key things to communicate here is that people often look at Deako as a smart lighting company, and yeah, we do a lot of that, but really we're here as a platform to enable choice and change later. The choice to keep it simple, to be able to do the same things we've done in our houses for decades and decades of dimming, motion sensors, timers. Those products have been around forever. We just have our versions that I think look better and perform a little bit better, but we have those. You can choose that, but you can also begin to progress up the ladder towards that whole home experience. And what we really vision is the enablement and the accessibility of that product category to the average home buyer. And I'm really just ecstatic to see that expectation shift and that trajectory really point towards whole home smart lighting, which I think will come in the next 5 to 10 years.
And it's incredible, just like, we've seen things happen over the years where costs keep coming down and down and down. When Nathan's talking about, $60,000 to $70,000 for like this, it's almost like an enterprise class smart lighting control platform that's installed and maintained by a professional that's coming there regularly to like update it and change it and everything. That might work out to be, $6 to $10 per square foot of what your cost is. Now we're down into the like 50 cents to $1 per square foot to do a whole home smart lighting system. Right. So,
Right.
and it's something that you can do yourself. I think one of the other insights that I had when I first started the company was I was driving my truck that had a GPS system with the maps navigation. And then I was putting my iPhone in front of it because I had real-time traffic updates, So I'm not using the built-in GPS into my car. And it's like, well, wait a second. The car is going to live for 20, 30, 40 years, but it can't stay up on technology and I can't easily modify it myself. And then I translated to that to, well, I'm about to put this smart light switch in. And if it keeps changing and getting new features and new capability, like we're on this verge of artificial intelligence everywhere. And we, like most companies, are starting to build some of that stuff into our future products. And now all of a sudden you don't want your home to be outdated and you don't want to have to call an electrician 5 years or 7 years later to go update to the latest and greatest technology. So our kind of vision was, why can't I just take the newest version of the model, unplug it, plug in the new one, and I'm good to go in minutes?
Makes a lot of sense for the consumer. What do you guys have on tap to go with the flow, or even help things go faster in terms of this next wave of technology adoption?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll break it up into a couple pieces. First, we're things that are right on the horizon, right on the cusp of releasing. We're looking at the energy credits that builders have the opportunity to gain, how the check boxes they got to be able to check to be able to unlock like a $2,500 Energy Star credit. Well, we have products that are coming out soon to enable that. So we'll be a piece of that whole puzzle. And to me, that's just a real value add. That's immersion in the market and with partners to understand their needs and what they gain and value through it. They're not things that are necessarily obvious to a home buyer to have value, but they're going to kind of elevate the whole home's environmental impact, energy footprint, comfort inside of the house.
$2,500 per home is not chump change.
No, it's not. No, it's pretty impressive. So On the software front, we're keeping up with times. A lot of people have been talking about Matter. Our version of Matter is coming out soon. Along with it, we'll be releasing HomeKit support. So that's kind of, again, those are both near term horizon pieces. But really, that's what we've been working on for years to be able to get those things out. What's new and innovative for us is trying to challenge ourselves to take that ease of installation to the next level. What's going to really unlock that whole home experience is solving the problems of what do I need to install to be able to get this experience? Where does it go? And then how quickly can I put it out there? And how can I pick up the process, stop? I have life. I have a phone call to take, a kid to take care of, and then pick it right back up. So our next real vision place is like making that ease of install just next level, such that it just blows everybody's expectations out of the water.
Well, guys, great products, great program. What's the best way for builders to get started with you?
I think just reaching out to us. Our URL is www.deako.com, DEAKO.com.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, you can fill out a form on our site, or reach us at sales@deako.com and ask questions.
Very good. Gentlemen, thank you for your time today. Congratulations on all your success to start 2024, and wishes for continuing success on a go-forward basis.
Yeah, thanks so much, John.
Today.